It is a new week, a new day, and of course, this is the day that the Lord has made. We have to be grateful. And remember, rains in Africa are a sign of a blessing. And we know now that our farmers will have something to put in the gardens. And those whose gardens are supermarkets, the markets will have something to feast. So there is no regret for the rainfall. There could be interruptions here and there, but we thank the Lord because right is not. We have majority of our farmers depending on rainfall, fed agriculture, then it is disaster to our nation. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra, this lovely cold morning, where we are going to be discussing something, a ray of hope for many youth, for many people out there, which is skills development. Now, under the Private Sector Foundation, there is a component number 3 that aims at skilling young people, empowering them to ensure they can start up their own jobs, improve on what they have, and become better people in this country. And with me this morning, I have a beneficiary of this project, who is Cherere William. You're most welcome to our studios.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
I'm also very eager to hear from you, your testimony of how you've benefited from this program. But on the other hand, I have, that is the grant specialist, skills specialist, that is Betty Tuesime. Betty, you're most welcome to our studios this morning.
Good morning, sir.
Now, let's begin by getting a clearer picture or better understand when we talk about skills development. We know this is part of government. We know this is part of the Private Sector Foundation.
Yes.
And we know it's aimed at empowering the youth. But kindly throw more light to our viewer this morning.
Thank you so much. Skills development facility is a project under component 3 of USDP, which is Uganda Skills Development Program, and the Ministry of Education. It is funded by the World Bank and implemented by Private Sector Foundation, where SDF is housed. And skills development is a facility to support employer-led trainings, short trainings, and recognition to prior learning. 2, 3, it contributes to the implementation of the BTVET. BTVET is Business, Technical, Vocational Education and Training, which is under a component under the education sector, into a comprehensive education system that is skilling, hence productivity and economic development. Yes.
Talking about this, we must understand, how does it work? How do one become a beneficiary? Because many times we hear of these wonderful programs of government.
Okay, thank you so much. SDF funding is in windows and in sectors, what we call or refer to as trades. It funds trades like agriculture, manufacturing, that is auto mechanics, under tourism and hospitality, transport and logistics, and construction. And as well, it goes ahead to have funds under windows for under window 1 that support skills specifically that address skills in formal or internship strategy to prepare graduates for work ready to work skills in medium and large enterprises. Then window 2 support skills, SDF support skills specifically for informal sector. That is the jewel carries. These ones include the master craftsmen, cooperatives, members of cooperatives and associations, micro and small enterprises. And window 3 supports skills for new innovations. These are specifically for public and private institutions. Those are universities, technical and vocational institutions. And window 4 emphasizes skills for prior recognition, prior recognition and certification for in informal and formal trainings, specifically in government training institutions as well as private. Yes.
So I love the fact that it makes people more employable.
Yes. Now,
because there's been the challenge of people leave universities, leave these institutions, but they lack the skills.
Yes.
So it looks at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now here I want to bring in the beneficiary. You know, when you hear the word beneficiary, that means it's more or less a testimony that we want to understand how this life transforming project by that is the government of Uganda to the private sector, and of course as it moves on, how has it been able to transform your life?
Thank you, sir. Our dear viewers and listeners of UBS TV. Once again, my name is Gerard William, and I represent the organization called Love a Friend, Youth Development Organization. Love a Friend is one of the organizations that have benefited from the skills development facility, particularly Window 2, which targets the non-formal sector. You can call it the jewelries, or those are in the manufacturing, but they are not formally established. To begin my discussion, I would like to appreciate the Skills Development Facility and Private Sector Foundation for the support that they have provided onto us. When we talk about the Skills Development Facility or the Skilling Project, as Love a Friend, we have benefited from this grant. It's a grant, not a loan. That's one of the advantages. And it's demand-driven, meaning the project, what you're going to implement, is initiated by the grantee or the person applying. As Love a Friend, for the past 5 years, we've worked together with Private Sector Foundation. They have helped us to train youth in skills that are demand-driven. That means the job market in our country. Youth unemployment in Uganda is a very big problem, which cannot be addressed by an individual, but by partnerships, collaborations. Through the Skills Development Project, as Love a Friend, we've been able to train over 350 youth in the non-formal sector. We have trained them in tailoring. We have trained them in laser design. We have trained them in book binding. We have trained them in detergents, where you talk about making liquid soap, shampoo, jelly. We have trained them in candle making, among other skills, because it has been long. One of the benefits or the testimonies that I can talk about the benefit, SDF or Private Sector Foundation found us when we were a local CBO, a community-based organization. But with the support and the mentorship program, they have elevated us from a CBO to a national NGO. Not stopping there, they have helped us to register as a non-formal skills training institute with the Directorate of Industrial Training. That means we are nationally recognized to provide non-formal skills to youth in the community. Why DIT? Directorate of Industrial Training supports certification of the people who have been trained. Maybe someone didn't have the opportunity to attend formal education. There is what we call the workers pass, PAS, practically acquired skills. It means this person had no opportunity to attend school, but is doing something. This person can be assessed by DIT and certified as a professional. And it has levels. If you qualify for workers pass, there is also what we call the non-formal assessment. It means this person has attended non-formal trainings, not this school-based, but in the community, basing on the demands that the person has. This person can take on modules. Take, for example, in tailoring, someone can say, want to do specific modules in tailoring, maybe to draft, to plan how to make a skirt, as a dress. Those are some of the modules. One can be assessed and is certified. And the good thing with this is that once you attend, like someone, take for example, has never attended school, that is the person who begins with non-formal assessment. You can progress and go to level 1 assessment. I would request, because there is social distance, allow me to slightly adjust the mask such that...
Just remove it, it's more dangerous.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, I was talking about these various levels, how SDF has supported people in the non-formal sector. Someone has never gone to school is able to attend modular assessment, can progress to level 1, which is equivalent to primary living examination, can progress to level 2, level 3, level 4, and up to diploma level. You will agree with me, most of the times when employers are advertising for jobs, they will say senior ethics or its equivalent. What they always refer to in many recruitment or qualification, its equivalent is the certification I'm talking about of DIT. Someone can upgrade when had an opportunity to attend formal education, but you find him a diploma holder is able to deliver these skills because he has built them over time. So in our community,
so that is one of the major breakthroughs, that at least now someone has the skills and they have something to prove to any employer that yes, this is a mechanic, indeed, he knows what they are doing, and this is a document. Not just to say that I have the skills, but there's nothing to speak to you in terms of paper or certificate or accreditation that proves to that. Well, when we talk about this, William has talked about a number of benefits, but we also want to look at the achievements over time, because we know that could be, is it love, a friend, something like that. There could be one, maybe in a million. So let's look at what are some of those achievements that the skills development facility can boast of over time in terms of transforming Ugandans, because we know we have so many good policies as a country. We have so many government interventions. But the big question has been, how have they transformed people's lives? That's the big question. The other has been inclusion. To what extent have they included the targeted audience? Then the other has also been maybe challenges of bureaucracy. How easy are they to access?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. First of all, Skills Development Facility provides grants to companies, organizations, cooperatives, and micro and small enterprises. And those ones that have got, addressing imbalances in skill shortages at a cost. Yes. And these skills training are given or are funded in 2 sectors, as I said, through a competitive selection basing on merit and merit and demand for labor, what is in the labor market. So, and we
so
go
those are
through,
based on application.
yes, how do they get the grant? And with that, we have a call in papers. When the call is in, we put the call in papers, there are modalities to follow. So for those organizations, companies, cooperatives, micro enterprises that I've talked about, if they see that they qualify, they go in to apply. Then they are selected through a competitive process based on merit and the demand of the skill needed by that. But in trades, as I told you, in agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, transport and logistics, ICT, to mention but a few. They go through that process. Then you asked me, how do people benefit, right? The members of the associations are trained. The members of the cooperatives are trained. And when they are trained, they go on ahead to train the community members, trainees out of the community. How? They get them as beneficiaries, as they give them funds, they train them. After training them in the different trades of their requirement, then they are assessed by DIT. And everybody gets a certificate. They are accredited by DIT, according especially for window 2 or across all windows. However, for window 3 and window 4, there are those ones that are accredited by City and Guild, or ECIB, that is an engineering accreditation board, and Cambridge Those are international certificates. But specifically, they are given to formal, for formal training and public and private institutions, as we shall look at the achievements. Yes. Then we go on ahead. How do others get to the community, get to the skills? We just have to recommend and advise people that, as for instance, Love a Friend has been trained as a grantee, our beneficiary. We argue them to go back down to the community because they are certified and they can train many members. So since they are accredited by DIT, we expect them to get those skills down to the community.
Pass them over.
Yes, and they train more people. How? Maybe in order to get funds or small savings for sustainability as well, because that is also
actually it's one of the hindrances to most of these projects, that once the funding is stopped, then the project either collapses because liquidity is nowhere to be gotten that can run the project.
But some people have got jobs and they've already started their own jobs as well, like for people in internship, and even like as a friend confessed, or like he said that they'll go back to the community and be able, if it's trained about 30 beneficiaries or 50, we expect that those 50 beneficiaries to go down to the community and train others, maybe at a fee and save, and also to sell their products for income generation and improvement. Yes.
Well,
then,
one of the biggest challenges has also been, I've witnessed a lot of skills development in Uganda. One of them is skilling the girl child, where we've seen these girls are well skilled, the boy child. You've done a tremendous job when it comes to this, I must agree. But the issue has always been quality.
Exactly.
Of what they're putting. That if I go to a Jua Kali, I want to look at what they're doing. And most of the times, I don't know if it is something gotten to do with mentality, but sometimes I may prefer something from maybe abroad. Quality has been a problem.
Yes.
Then second, a market for continuity. That you visit these well-trained people and they have their store with them, their stock with them. So this is an area that I also want us to look at after this short break.
Okay, thank you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Vaccinated today so we can get closer to the normal way of life. Echa COVID-19 chija kugwa.
Welcome to the home of our stars. Come on in. We have our movies, gossip, reality, conflict, tulinane comedy. Baserebu baffe bonna live right here, because no matter where you go, this is the home of our stars.
This year, as Power Magic Mix 3, we are delighted to invite you to see, experience and celebrate with us. Power Magic, the home of our stars. Multi-Choice Uganda is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that short break. Thank you for keeping it with us. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Once again, I'm Robert Chirabo Nyitono, and I'm honored to be having people that aim at transforming lives through government programs. That is the Skills Development Facility. And I have, that is Betty Twesime. If you've just joined us, she's the grant specialist and skills specialist. And also I have a beneficiary that is from Love a Friend, that is William with us in studios, with whom we are trying to throw more light to this opportunity that is there, and also to understand how best has it transformed lives. If I want to, for this break, Betty had asked of, yes, we've skilled these youth. We've given the youth the skills they have. And actually, I want to say and confess that I've seen many have tremendous work. Tremendous work. Remember, some have gotten even modern equipment that enables them to have these designs, and you're like, wow, this is good quality. But the problem has always been marketing. As much as you want to promote sustainability, even when the program ends, but what has been made out of the knowledge and the funding impacted, sometimes stayed with them at their stores. And at the end of the day, we may notice the sustainability of these programs. So how best do we mitigate that?
Thank you, sir. All the beneficiaries of SDF have gone through this. We take them through, we build capacity of the grantees on how to market himself. Nowadays, we've been affected by COVID. We cannot go to group markets, or we cannot go to so many places to sell products. However, we've taken them through market strategies. They can form groups, partnering with others to make common markets and ways of saving. Because if you don't have a market, you cannot save. So we urge them to go into group savings, make circles. We also tell them to have a group. They group themselves into partnership with others. And we also emphasize the skills that these people, our grantees that need, that are not the skills, like the soft skills. In marketing, customer care, how to talk to people, because if you go, most of the Jawakaris around don't know how to talk to people, most of them, and they don't know how to manage their funds well. Accountability is key, but we've taken them through all that at private sector, skills development facility, and we've gone even ahead to build capacity in other soft skills like integrity, personal management, and production of more of what they need to sell out there to the public. Like, for instance, I'm going to talk about this slightly. Like now we are having an exhibition in Dubai. It would have been pertinent for our skilled beneficiaries to come up with a market. Then we identify, we also emphasize quality, because it's one of the key things that we consider. So we identify the quality of different items to be sold or to be exhibited in Dubai. And also maybe we can also argue government, even other partners, to identify markets that can help us, feed into what our grantees have done. Thank you.
I love that, and of course that comes to you by Uganda, build Uganda.
Exactly.
We need to support what is locally made here. All these countries that we cherish today and even import from, their first agenda was to change their mindset and understand that when I buy a shoe from Love a Friend, when I buy anything that is Ugandan, I'm empowering this person to produce more, but I'm creating more employment to improve even the quality, because maybe they're lacking some machine that they expect when they sell this is when they'll be able to buy this machine that is going to improve the quality. So let's promote, let's buy Uganda. Sometimes quality may not be that there, but that is what is ours. And when we improve that quality, when we buy that quality, we shall later on improve, and of course this will greatly shine. Well, I come to our beneficiary. When we talk about this project, that is the skills development facility.
Yes, please.
We know that sometimes when such projects come, many a times people hear it's government. They're so much eager when we hear of a grant, financial
support.
Financial support is coming our way, and now with a grant we are not going to pay back. Sentences say. But what have been the challenges? Because many of these projects, sometimes we see, and I know you could be, there are groups you know sometimes, that kicking off becomes a problem, financial management becomes a problem, and many of these programs, much as government has goodwill, we end up not getting the right impact of these programs. Just give us a brief of how you manage to sail through. Maybe you can encourage somebody out there that yes, these things are real, but also they can transform.
Thank you so much. I will begin from where you've just said. We are looking at sustainability and value for money. It all begins with the mindset. And as a beneficiary of the project, I have a big number, a crowd following me who are interested, because once people see or hear of a grant, like you said, everyone will be saying, this is money for us. Government yegabude oba javise. But
some set a video bulimba. Even some think, they have talked, you can't access that money. You can't access that grant. You can't get those skills. So there are those that believe it is there and they are eager to rob and go. And those that even just don't believe it's there.
Yes, please. I will talk about those who believe it's there. Like the specialist, our funders, she has elaborated it, that it's on a competitive basis. Once they have advertised the grant, we submit in our applications, and they assess them about 5 various levels of assessment, pre-screening, screening, due diligence. There is sometimes where the problem comes from. Someone will hire specialists to prepare a proposal, which is not the fact what's on the ground, but with private sector foundation to ensure that there is sustainability. They have to deep digger. They come to the ground to verify for due diligence. Do you really qualify? Do you really have the potential? Because we put all these things in the proposal. I have these beneficiaries are there. So with the support from private sector foundation under the skills development project, it has to be genuine, on a competitive basis and demand driven. Like take for example, as Love a Friend, we operate in Kampala. We are located in Mbuya 1 parish of Nakawa division, but we operate in non-formal settings. Talk about Mbuya Chinawataka, you may have heard of that, Banda Kasenyi, Naguru go down, Kasokoso, Acholi quarters. Those are some of our areas of operation in the non-formals. I want to assure the public that the grant is real and it's based on merit, as long as you are doing the right thing. To continue our discussion, if the grant is real, to ensure sustainability, we also have to make sure that our beneficiaries are genuine and the real people who need these skills. Because as a grantee or an organization receiving the organization, once I go back to these communities and I say, we are receiving this support from private sector foundation, it's scaling, very many people will come in, I'm interested in the skill. But yes, we first of all compare that list. We go back to them, we also screen them. We say, yes, we have a grant. At first, I don't disclose it to them. I give them a selection assessment, like a simple sheet. What are you doing currently? What are you interested in? If there is an opportunity in acquiring skills, which one will you prioritize? Then everyone will list them. Then I compare with what we are working on. Like take for example, we are working on tailoring. It's the one we are looking at. Because our projects are participatory right from the project design. So I will collect all those ideas from the beneficiaries, the people we work with, and compile, build a proposal to that. Because by the time someone says, I'm interested in tailoring, either that person is currently doing some tailoring as a sewing machine or has ever attended a training somewhere but maybe dropped off or failed to get a sewing machine, and they want to improve on their skills. So as a lover friend or as a beneficiary, we ensure that the trainees that we are going to support or to train are focused. There are those that could be not in the field, they have not yet ventured into it, but there is passion. We take on them, and we do not stop there. We continue supporting them during the training, after the training, even after the project close out, like she has talked about. For example, to share with the nation and the world, in 2017, we received a grant, and we trained youth and women in making books, making liquid soap, and afterwards we established a cooperative. It's called Banda 3 Bookbinders Cooperative Society. It has been affected by COVID because books are not on the market right now, but there are other products that we are doing. At least the liquid soap has worked out. When COVID has just come out, everybody was like, "Naba mungalo, naba mungalo." So that was an opportunity. And as like you explained, we are able to sell, get more capital, we reinvest. And we have been able to create jobs for our youth, because some work as sales agents, they are working in production, and we are grateful for the opportunity, for the skilling, for the skills development project, because it's impactful. SDF does not only provide skills, but equipments. They support us with equipments because they are looking at productivity, employability, because to be productive you need equipment, and one of your concerns was about the quality of the products. That's where SDF comes in and say, at least of the total budget, this percentage has to be for equipment, such that
as you're getting the
quality
grant.
Yes.
Okay, well, that will bring me back to Betty. He's talked so much regarding the entire project in terms of skills development, and of course given us a testimony of how that is a love of friend has been able to excel. But when we look at the years of existence, an estimate of how many lives you've been able to transform, or groups under this program?
Before I come to that, I wanted to briefly talk about something. Once we select the people who have qualified to get the grant, we go to the community where they're located. We do due diligence to ascertain or verify the existence of the organization, of the cooperative, before we go ahead to give funds. Then after that, we select them, and they go through different levels of approvals, of which after that we award them. We give them letters, award them according to sector, according to the skill, and it specifies the number of trainees and a specific trainer from a recognized government institution or a private institution. Then we go ahead and give them funds. But before we deposit the funds on their accounts, we take them through orientation. We orient them into how they are going to carry on the activities, what is expected, what kind of trainees they have, and we go to the ground to take them through. We take them through accountability, because that is very critical.
Definitely.
We cannot, and our grants are disbursed in batches, or tranches. And if we find that you cannot account, we don't continue with our funds. We don't give you more funds, but we take them through and we give them funds per tranche as we look at the accountability. When we are satisfied with each and everything, because they have to be with a training report written by the training institution, the grantee report, what they went through, skilling. We talk about what were their objective, apart from the general objective of SDF. We talk about how did they carry out the training as the trainer, what were the challenges, what are the recommendations, because there are so many things that come in within there. You start training and you find that you need more funds. So you write to us, we see whether you've been training very well, we revise whatever we are doing to give you maybe more funds on top of what you're supposed to get. Then after that, we take you through as we visit them. We do M&E. There is a group that is supposed to do that. Even us, the grant specialists and the people, they are the grant application support assistants. They go to the ground there to build capacity. By the time they end up training, they have all what they need as trainers, as grantees, the owners of the beneficiaries and the activities themselves, and even the products that are done. But before that, sorry, excuse me, before that they have a budget. Our budget goes into percentages, and we give equipment a bigger percentage because we don't expect anybody to have skills without equipment. Equipment is key. Tools has a percentage, and a training or trainer, a training house or institution, they have that, because we have to cater for them, for somebody to, you know, to deliver the skill to our grantees.
To this group.
Exactly. And how do you expect them to get skills without a qualified trainer? So we look at, actually, even before we give the trainer, we award the trainer that job to train that the specified or specific grantee. Then we have to look at the qualifications of the trainers under that training institution. Yes.
So it's basically ensuring that we have the right people do the right work for the transformation we need.
And to ensure quality. Yes.
Well, time is not so much on our side. I just want to get your remarks, that is, to many youth out there. Of course, you know, this is based on merit. And of course, competition when they send in their applications, when an opportunity strikes at that time in the papers. What advice do you give to such people?
Thank you. Number one, I would like to advise the youth, or to encourage the youth not to wait for the advert, but start something. Because scaling or skills training, it's not an option. It's a priority that everyone needs. So, before you wait, or we wait for the support for the advert from private sector foundation, we need to be prepared. And the preparation I'm talking about is do something. If you're doing something, add something. If you don't add something, reduce on what you're doing. You may be doing a lot of things, not in the right way. You have to reduce. If you cannot reduce, you cannot add, organize what you have. So as youth, we need to do something, to add something, or we reduce something that does not add value onto us, or we organize what we are doing. We have been all complaining about youth unemployment, but I want to assure you, unless you get serious and you will wake up, it will continue biting us. But if we determine and we focus, we shall fight this until be no more. An illustration, in the past, education was not common. Looking at university graduates, in the 80s, 70s, there are very few graduates. But right now, there are very many people. So let's do something as youth. I encourage every youth to acquire a skill and put it into practice. I appreciate Skills Development Facility, Private Sector Foundation for the grant. Thank you so much.
Well, I see the joy of a beneficiary, and of course, advice to you there, you need a skill. Opportunities are there. There are groups like Love a Friend that have, there are trainers now that you can go and have these skills. If one asks, what can you do? And the answer is, I can do anything. Well, you may not have anything for that person, but what can you do? Well, when it comes to welding, I'm an expert. Okay, we know where to start. But finally, I'll come to you, Betty, as we wind up this program. Of course, there are some areas. One is, you know, whenever I host people and they're talking about government assistance, the next calls you receive will be, how do I begin? How do I? So we are talking of an advert that is issued by private sector foundation. How frequent is this? Do we have times where they should expect? Is it under financial year? What is the program for this? Because there is so much demand than even the resources.
Thank you. Right now, the program under the Skills Development Facility is winding up. And by December, we shall be closed. But before, for the years when we had the skilling on, the grants on, we would advertise in papers, as I told you, on merit basis, and the relevance of the skill into the market demand. We select them. They go through different processes, stages of approvals. Then we do due diligence. Before even after due diligence, we award them according to what, because they request. Then we assess them and we see, now you wanted to train like 200 trainees, but according to the capacity of your organization, you won't be able to handle that, and you will not be able to handle this much that you want us to disperse to you. But we are recommending you train 50 with this, for instance, 50 million if you had requested for 200 million. Then we see the kind of skills that you wanted. We either tell you to go ahead and train everything, or we cut them to a smaller manageable number or of skills that can be taken through the grantee. So that is what we do. Then we go ahead and orient them into.
So what is there for now?
What is there for now, like achievements, around over 79 grantees, beneficiaries have benefited in the skilling. For internship, some interns have started their jobs, and some have been placed in different organizations. We have around 10 companies that have been accredited and certified by UNBS, and we have several organizations led by women, which is very important, and the youth. Almost 58% of the people trained female or male, and 48 are male. We have organizations, the public and the private institutions that have been accredited into into skilling others. We have 5 public universities and 2 private institutions that have been accredited to train others in City and Guild, and ECIB, that is the Engineering Accreditation Board, and Cambridge. We have an overall guide we have at private sector under the skills to guide the grantees through issues of environment, social risks, and all that. And with that, viewers, we come to the end of this, and
well, you've given us achievements, and with achievements,
to mention but a few. Yes.
Well, let me just thank first our beneficiary for coming up. Many of government programs have a challenge that sometimes you look for the beneficiaries, and at times you see them nowhere. Either they mismanage the funds, or they are not willing because they have nothing to show to stand out as beneficiaries. I want to thank you so much also for having found time, thrown light. Unfortunately, the program is winding up, but the good thing is we have tangible results that can transform.
Yes.
And when such similar opportunities come, the youth will have evidence of projects that work, and they are joined. I want to wish you a lovely day. I'll leave you at this and just encourage you that wherever you are under youth, find a skill to do, find an organization to join and be part of it. Because all the time, it is your time. And if it is your time now, it is you to ensure that the energy you have, you put it to greater use, so that when you age, you can look down at your age and say, I used it very well. The number of government interventions, let's embrace them. This is a time to work, not to lament. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome to the home of our stars.